Hi everyone, we're back with Bill's new frock and we're on the last chapter today. We're on chapter 7, which is called Happy Ending. So let's hope it is a happy ending for Bill, shall we? Shall we find out what happens? Here we go. Maybe the day had been more tiring than he realised. Maybe the schoolwork was harder than usual. Bill wasn't sure. All he knew was he'd had enough. He wanted to go home. It had been the most horrible of days and he'd be glad to have it over. The clock hands seemed to crawl. Each time he looked up, they'd scarcely moved. The afternoon seemed endless. Endless! And then, at last, the bell rang, and after the usual shouting and clattering and tidying of chairs, everyone made for the door. As Bill went past her, Miss Collins stretched out her hand to hold him back for just a moment. "You're still not looking quite right to me," she said. "I can't work out what it is, but let's hope that you're back to your old self tomorrow." "Yes," Bill agreed with her fervently. "Let's hope." He had his doubts, though, and it was a dispirited Bill Simpson who trailed down the school drive, dragging his feet. At the gates, Paul was jumping up and down beside his baby sister's pushchair, excitedly telling his mother about the race. They smiled and waved, but Bill pretended not to see. He was, it has to be admitted, in the worst mood. He felt angry and bitter and resentful. He was so sick of the silly pink frock that he would have liked the ground to open up and swallow him. But no such luck. In fact, worse was to come, it seemed. For there at the corner, nestling on one of the dustbins, was Mean Malcolm, waiting for his gang. Mean Malcolm saw him coming and whistled. Bill looked a sight. He knew it. The frock was a rumpled mess with grubby fingerprints round the hem, a huge football-shaped smudge on the front, paint smears down the folds, rips each side where he'd hunted in vain for pockets, a great criss-cross footprint where Ronan kicked him, and grass stains on the back, the sort of grass stains that never come out. The frock was a disaster. And that is probably why, when Mean Malcolm whistled at Bill Simpson again, he took it so very badly. He stopped and glowered at Mean Malcolm. "Whistling at me?" Mean Malcolm looked astonished to find his pink apparition glaring at him with such menace. He shifted uneasily on the lid of his dustbin. "Because," continued Bill savagely, "I am not a dog. I am a—" He hesitated for a moment, not knowing quite how to finish then yelled triumphantly, "I am a person!" And charging at Mean Malcolm with all the pent-up fury of the most horrible and frustrating day in his life, he flung himself backwards off the dustbin lid into a pile of spilled rubbish. There he is. I don't think he was expecting Bill to have a go at him. "There," he yelled, "that will teach you. Whistle at dogs in the future, not at people." And he strode off towards home, a little more cheerful, leaving Mean Malcolm desperately trying to brush the carrot peelings and tea leaves off his purple-studded jacket before the gang came round the corner and saw him. When Bill Simpson walked in the front door of his house, his mother was just coming through the back door. They met in the hall. Mrs. Simpson stopped in her tracks. She stared at Bill in absolute horror. "Look at you," she declared. "Look at you. What a mess. Fingerprints, smudges, paint smears, rips, footprints. Turn around." Obediently, Bill spun round. He heard his mother gasp. "Grass stains," she shrieked. "The kind that never come out." Bill shrugged. It wasn't his fault after all. He never asked to wear the silly frock. Bill's mother sighed. "You better take it off at once," she said, unzipping the back and starting to undo the fiddly shell buttons. "This is the last time I ever send you to school in a frock." She peeled off the offending dress, up and over his head, and gave him a little push towards the stairs. Bill needed no prompting. He ran up to his bedroom and pulled on a pair of jeans and a shirt. Then He took the tiniest sideways peep in the mirror, and then another slightly longer peep, and then a good long stare. He was a boy. Some people might have said that he could have done with a bit of a haircut, but he was definitely a boy. Never in his whole life had Bill felt such relief. Bella the cat came up and rubbed her soft furry body around his ankles in the usual way. She didn't seem to notice any difference. Bill picked her up and buried his face in her fur. "It's all right," he whispered to her delightedly. "It's over. It's over." There's a picture of Bill looking at himself in the mirror. Quite relieved. It doesn't matter if it was a dream or not. Whatever it was, it's all over. She purred contentedly in his arms. He held her tight. "And Mum says," he repeated firmly to himself and Bella, "that is the last time I ever go to school in a frock." And it was. So we still don't know if it was a dream or whether Mum actually put him in a dress. At least he'll never have to go through that day again. Poor Bill, he didn't have a great day at school, did he? At least it ended happily, and Bill is back to being a boy. So I hope you enjoyed this book, Bill's New Frock by Anne Fine. I really enjoyed it, and I really didn't know how it was going to end, so it was a great ending. Tune in tomorrow for a new book. And we've only got a few days left before the end of term, but we will keep going with our reading because I am really enjoying reading to you, and I hope you're enjoying listening as well. So I'll see you again tomorrow for something different. Take care now. Bye.